Hey y'all, this is 1B, and I'm recording on a Saturday, which is why I got my hoodie on and my hair up, but you know, it's fine. This is what we do when we teach online. I guess we're just always working. Over here is the document that you've already been working on. We did this in class together, and you've already seen it, but if you scroll down, it'll show what's the new stuff. So some of the stuff's not actually new. It's about triangles, and you should have learned this around 5th or 6th grade. That doesn't mean it's easy, it just means that they should have shown it to you. If you didn't have the best 5th or 6th grade teacher, don't worry about it, I got your back. So triangles have two names. They have a first name and a last name, like Miss and Willard. So I'm an acute equilateral triangle, sure. So all of them have a first name here and a last name here. Part of your homework is going to be to try to figure out if you can make all pairs. There's 9 total combinations, and can you make all of them? And then the other part is there's some vocab down here that I want to actually show you examples of, because I'm starting to throw formulas at you. And a lot of you said in your about me's that you're kind of scared of formulas, or they don't quite make sense. I'm going to show you why this happens. And then we're going to do an example of congruent triangles, because those are important too. So this is a great time to have notes. Am I going to be making sure you have a notebook? No. Am I going to be making sure that you're writing in it? No. I would normally, this is something I would normally grade, but I'm not going to see you in person. Usually what I do is during a test day, I'll take all your notebooks aside and I'll make sure that you're writing in them and doing your homework in them. But it's a whole new world. A whole new world. I might cut that out later. So I have a notebook here. It's a decomposition book. It's got these cute little scuba divers. I'll probably draw on it. I would recommend leaving a couple pages for a table of contents if you want to. I'm going to do that. You do you, boo. It's kind of weird to start on one or like the next section. So what I actually might do on the first page is I might do 1A, and you should go through and do some of the vocab that confused you from earlier on the page, this stuff, right? You don't need to write down things like acute or right, but if there's anything that you want to remember to be able to come back to and look at later, I would do that. I'm showing you nothing. Hold on. This stuff. I would go through and do this. If there's anything on here that you are going to forget or you want to make a note of, that would be a great time. So this is point lines and planes. And it might be the stuff that we talked about. Planes. It might be the stuff that we talked about in class. It might be things like, I don't know. I should cut this part out too. Things like skew or a linear pair or complementary angles. But this is all your page. Please, 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 if you're a note taker, I would jot down some things that you're going to forget easily. So for 1B, which is what we're doing today, this is basically symmetry vocab. Is it actually called that? No. This is from like 1.5, 1.6, 5.1, and 5.4 or something like that. This is all the kind of things that I felt like you might want to know, but you haven't been taught before. Maybe you've been taught it before, but maybe not. So a bisector is not super crazy. It just cuts something in half. If it bisects an angle, it cuts the angle exactly in half. And then that's called an angle bisector specifically. But let's talk about midpoint. We're actually going to do an example of midpoint that I'm going to make up right now because I totally didn't prepare ahead of time. So let's say that I have 2 points. I have point A. I really hope it's not as fuzzy as it looks on my screen, you guys. I can't tell. I have point A, which is going to say is at, perfect. A, which is at the point 1, 7. And I'm going to say that the point B is at the point negative 3, 3. I'll just say that those are the 2 points. So I want to find the midpoint of line segment AB. So this is what I was talking about in that document. When I want to say line segment, I don't need to use the word line segment. I can do a literal line segment as a hat over the line. So point A starts at 1, 7 and point B starts at negative 3, 3. I'm going to connect them and find the middle point. I have two options for this. Option one is I can do it visually. This is the one that makes the most sense for people who do things by seeing it or do things by touching it. So point one, visually. So here's my graph. In class, I would have normal like little things I can like cut out. Did you see my mistake right here? Those are way too close together. Okay, so 1, 7. 1, 7 is up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. That's point A. And I knew that because I went over first and then up because it goes X and Y. Some of you might want a refresher. Let me know if you do. And B is at negative 3, 3. This is the kind of thing that somebody actually would want help with in regular geometry, which is why you're here and not there. Okay, visually, where's the middle point? Let me use a pencil really quick. It looks like it's probably right around here somewhere, okay? Let me verify that using some numbers. So B was at negative 3 and A was at 1. So those are 4 apart, right? So if I go halfway, that's 2. Yeah, which is at, it's pretty close actually. I did pretty good with that one. And then once I go over 4, I go up. Did I really pick 4 twice? That was such a mistake. I didn't do it on purpose. I'm sorry. So I go up 2, because that's half, right? Then my midpoint would be at the point negative 1. Ooh, that's, you can't quite see that. Here, let me white out that section. Where'd my whiteout go? I had it just yesterday. My cat probably stole it. Or my niece. Okay, well that's fine. I'll fix it later. Let me pause and go find that actually. Bloop. There's these Fixon pens that I really want because they just erase. That'd be so much easier than me finding whiteout every time. Negative 1, and then let's see here. So B was at 3 up, so it'd be 5 up. So that's a way to do it visually. Totally fine. I just cut the things in half. My second option is called algebraically, which literally just means with algebra. Use algebra. So I gave you this, I'm just going to say M is midpoint. I gave you this handy dandy little cheat. If I add the x's together and divide by 2, that's the x point. And if I add the y's together and divide by 2, that's the y point. And that's in parentheses for that reason. Those are the coordinates. So I would identify that the x's are 1 and negative 3. So I would go 1 plus negative 3, divide by 2. And then I would do the y's, 7 and 3. 7 plus 3 over 2. And those are in parentheses still. Let me just do that math really quick. I'm going to do it a little bit faster than I should. But if I do 1 plus negative 3, that's negative 2. Divide that by 2, that's negative 1. If you need any math help, please go to my syllabus and click on the button for calculator. It'll just pop right up. And then 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I get the same answer both times. Okay, do you have to do both methods? Absolutely not, okay? Don't stress yourself out over doing the same method twice. But that's how you find midpoint. Okay, those are 2 different methods. You can do either one. Let's also talk about congruency. Which I wrote it like it says congruence, but it is still congruency, I promise. If 2 things are congruent, they are exactly the same in size and shape. I can't show you an example right now. Let's see. Like these 2 pens. These 2 pens are congruent. Assuming that oh yeah, those are the same. These 2 pens are congruent. They're exactly the same in size and shape. They're still congruent if I do this, or that. That's a little iffy because they're kind of different in size right now. But these are congruent pens. Which one was I using for my notes? I don't remember. I think it was this one. 2 things are congruent in size and shape. they come with congruent statements. I kind of walk through this in my notes paper, but I want to actually show you what this looks like on two shapes. I won't even do the same shapes. Let me do two, nope, it was not that pen. Let me do two trapezoids. And I'm specifically making this side a little bit longer than this side is, and I'll do it opposite on this one. Ooh, that's not right. It's okay, we'll fake it. Pretend like those are the same in size and shape. Make them that way for yours. And I just labeled these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Beautiful. Now, what I meant to do, and how I'm gonna mark this, is that these are the same size. So what I do is I go around the shape and I mark the ones that are the same using the same number of little lines. So these are the same. If these are the same, I do 2 marks. If these are the same, I can use 3 marks now. And if these are the same, I can use 4 marks, or I can do like the number 4 in Roman numerals, which is kind of weird, but that just shows you which direction it goes. Those are congruency marks. Those tell me what's the same in my two trapezoids. Now, I'm also going to do the same thing on the angles, but I could not show you on the document because it just wouldn't let me in Desmos. But if these two angles are the same, I do a single little swoosh. If I want to mark more than one thing that's the same on a triangle, let's say I want this one next, I would do 2 of those. And then I can do 3. And then I can do 4. And I can do this as many times as I need to. This is usually why we don't do like hexagons and stuff, which is a 6-sided shape. That's why we don't do hexagons and stuff with these markings, because it gets kind of crazy. That's why we usually call them regular. A regular shape means that everything's the same, so I don't need to worry about all the markings. But those are 2 congruent shapes. Now, in these 2 congruent shapes, there's a lot of things that match up. For instance, the trapezoid, which we usually just use a parallelogram symbol. This is super far ahead, because we're not going to get to parallelograms and stuff until much later. So I would just list this in whatever order I want to, but then the other one I have to match the same shapes. So if I started with A matches H, so I have to start with H. And then I went to B matches with G, so I have to go G next. And then I kind of go around in a circle once I get the pattern there. So these 2 shapes are equal in shape and size. They're congruent. Also, there are certain things that match about the sides, right? Why is that I capitalized? I don't know. I'm gonna pause right here and write out all the sides that are matching, and then I'll walk through what they mean in a second. So just pause. Bloop. Okay. So I just went through, I didn't even look at the shapes, to be honest. I looked at the AB here and the HG here because it was in order. But these also match up the number of marks on the side. So the side AB has 3 marks and the side GH has 3 marks. So they're the same. Let me pause. I'm going to do angles now. You can try it. You can pause it here and see if you can get the angles before I can. You can try that. Do it. Okay. So I just went through and I marked all the angles that were the same, again, just based on the number of lines on them. But I want to point out that there's 2 ways to write this angle, for instance. I can write it as angle B and angle G because it's the only angle by them. Or I can write it as the whole angle A to B to C, with B being the middle one, and H to G to F, which is G being the middle one. So these are equivalent statements, the second one here and the last one here. I wanted to show you because I'm going to try to trick you on that on your homework. Hey, that's really it. I'm going to talk about angle bisectors in your homework, but I think you can figure that one out. If not, please email me. Please come to my office hours. Please tell me that you're confused. I am here for you. Have I told you that enough times yet? I'm here for you. I'm your buddy. I will help you with whatever you need help with. If you need me to do more examples, go slower, please tell me. I will. I love doing these recordings. They're so much fun. All right, I will see you on Thursday for our in-class time. So see you then. Bye.